The news came in like a quiet, rolling storm, building to a crescendo with thunder and lightning and rain pouring down. David Lynch, gone. The man who brought us that signature blend of dream logic, unsettling suburban calm, and the faint aroma of burnt coffee, suddenly no longer walking among us. Within hours, the internet did its thing, condensing a sprawling life into a flurry of half-joking tributes, photos of Cheeto bags arranged on sidewalks, a slice of cherry pie placed at the foot of the Bob's Big Boy statue in Burbank, one of his favorite haunts. Because that's how we show our love these days. Because sometimes, when we don't know what else to do, we leave a weird little offering that says, "We remember." I found myself standing there, watching it all unfold, an iconic statue bathed in Southern California neon, overshadowed by the memory of a man who reveled in the in-between spaces. People were snapping photos, maybe half laughing at the kitsch, but I couldn't help feeling there was something oddly beautiful about it, something raw in those gestures. We reduce a person's entire existence to a few symbols, a bag of snack food, piece of pie, and call it commemoration. Is that any different than leaving flowers at a grave? Not in any way that actually matters. Not long after, I decided I needed some distance from the grim forward march of time. Maybe I think about death too often. I ended up at the Brea Tar Pits. I wanted to stare at actual fossils. I wanted to ground myself in something ancient and unmovable. There's a certain comfort in those mounds of tar and ancient bones, as if the city's chaotic sprawl buzzes on all sides while these prehistoric remains just sit here, oblivious to all of our fleeting concerns. They're a reminder that time swallows everything, no matter how big or how small, how famous or forgotten. We're just a few more creatures clawing our way through this world, leaving behind bits and pieces of our story in whatever sediment will hold us. Standing by those pits, the notion of legacy starts to feel complicated. What do we leave behind besides a handful of objects and half-remembered stories? In ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, this question was anything but trivial. They built towering pyramids and intricate tombs, believing that if they preserved the body and provided for the soul, a person could navigate the afterlife. Everything was about ensuring your name carried on, that the stories of your exploits would echo in the eternal beyond. The funerary art, the hieroglyphs, all of it was a massive cultural effort to defy oblivion. Then there were the Romans, who carved their legacies into stone, minted them on coins, and spread them across continents by way of conquests and trade routes. They built roads designed to outlast kingdoms, aqueducts that are still standing as testaments to their engineering genius. A Roman general would have a triumph through the city, a big parade to celebrate his victories, because that's how you etched your name into the public mind. You wanted to be remembered, to be part of history. They understood in their own imperial way how fragile it all was. Monuments crumble, inscriptions fade, but the dream of outlasting your mortal shell was worth the gamble. We're not so different now. We build digital monuments, Instagram pages, viral memes, trending hashtags, hoping some sliver of our essence will endure. When a cultural figure passes away, especially someone as enigmatic as David Lynch, we scramble to define him with shorthand references and images. We do this because it's how we collectively process grief these days. We grab onto the Cheeto bag or the slice of pie because it's easier than wrestling with the truth that the person, the actual presence, is gone. We like to think we're carrying on a tradition as old as the pyramids, but there's a fleeting quality to it that's hard to deny. One day that statue might be replaced. The corporate synergy behind Bob's Big Boy might shift, and the new owners might not even know who David Lynch was. Those tributes swept away like dust on Hollywood Boulevard. The question that hovers over all of this is why we want so badly to be remembered in the first place. Why do we crave immortality through legacy? It might be the ultimate coping mechanism for the human condition, the awareness that we have an expiration date. If we can't outrun death physically, maybe we can cheat it symbolically, living on in memory. But is that memory really us, or just a curated persona that becomes more caricature than person over time? We like to imagine that in death we'll be better understood. Maybe people will take the time to appreciate our ideas, to connect the dots we never managed to connect ourselves. We hope all the small details we left behind will paint a richer, fuller portrait. But were we ever truly knowable to begin with? Even in life, so much of us remains hidden. Our thoughts, our fears, our contradictions. If David Lynch taught us anything, it's that the human soul is a labyrinth of nightmares and fantasies, a place where logic and dream are never quite separate. That's part of why his work resonates. He never pretended to wrap everything in a neat little bow. He showed us the darkness, the odd humor lurking underneath suburban nights, and glimpses of beauty in the most surreal corners. So standing here, beside the tar pits, I think about how he's left behind a body of work that didn't offer answers about him, but that will keep asking questions about us. Maybe that's the best kind of legacy anyone can leave. A series of open doors that you, the audience, can walk through at your own risk. If you found this exploration meaningful, please like this video and share it with someone who might also wonder about these questions. Subscribe for more journeys into the undercurrents of culture and existence. It's one more way we stay connected in a world that can sometimes feel all too big and simultaneously all too fragile. I'm Decker, the Phantom Astronaut, and I'll see you out there.